Welcome back to Factorio SpaceX Extreme, where we are incredibly close to finishing hull components and even life support is almost done. So we are certainly making excellent progress. Now, since last time, if you recall correctly, we were building our independent red processing area and red circuit. By red I mean not to be confused with red science, which we don't need anymore. And basically I made a blueprint of the double array, stamped it down, and then ordered everything there, including some bots, and it's slightly too much for the supply train. As you can see, if excuse me. If we run over to the supply train, this is one of the great advantages of this map mode. It's hard to tell from that, but I actually was over here just a second ago, and these trains are actually, these cargo trains are actually full. So 204 inserters is 5 of the 40. 204, that's another 5, that's 10, 120, that's 3, that's 13, plus that's 12 with the beacons, that's 3 more, and so on and so forth. You add it all up, it gets to 40, and there's still a few items remaining, so we need to cancel the beacons. Where are we? We need to basically cancel the last part of the order, so we will take these guys off, and 108 beacons remaining. If we just remove that as well, that should be enough to say, hey train, you've done enough, on your way, and indeed it is. Wow, hull components 248, only 2 more hull components left. And Astrometrics continues to do this leapfrogging ahead of command but both of them are also closing in, along with life support and fuel cells, which will be good for our oil. This fairly recent oil patch is coming down fairly quickly, so I don't know how urgent it is, but I may need to still bring this one online. And of course the copper here is has been utterly slaughtered. Actually, even the iron here is showing a lot of fatigue, so we may need to do something down there soon as well. Our build over here is probably finished. Yep, all the construction robots are done, so we can bring online that extra steel. But we obviously want to get this guy online. Here we go. This looks like our supply train. We'll need to put some radars in here so we can see it on its way. Once it heads back, we will add the modules back in and the remaining beacons. And with a bit of luck, the robots will take off immediately. I need to again do the usual linkage between the top section and the bottom section so that the bots will build all of it. There we go, it's on its way. As soon as it has departed, we can come in here, turn that off, add 108 beacons back in, and the 1,400, well we don't actually know if it's 1,400, so I might make it 1,450 and 1,050 of the blue ones. There we go, let's put that order out there. So with a bit of luck the train will come back and finish off the order. Now, what we need to do, make sure we're not carrying our bots and then we want to jump networks, so we will need something like that to that, and that should do, I think, actually. To enable the, once all the rest of the stuff has been built out, that should enable the robots to finish off the job. Has the train started loading anything yet? No, it's probably not even back yet. Oh yes, here it comes. So any excess, of which there is none, would be unloaded. It has a command, so it should very shortly proceed up, as you've seen many times before. Proceed up and start loading the stuff. But with a bit of luck, most of it's already sitting here, so it will take very little time to load up and be on its way. There you go, that was the beacons, the modules similarly. Whole components 249. That's quite a milestone. Perhaps we should go down here and well, let's see what's on the train. One whole component, so there should be no more whole components being ordered or built. That's great. What else are we going to get? Is this still active? Yes it is, but it can't be too far off. In fact, here comes the supply train now. So our red circuit build is going to be finished very shortly. My goodness, that's a long name. We should probably rename everything. So next on the list for red circuits is we need to ensure that plastic can get up here, and I don't really have a good option for plastic getting up there at the moment. Plastic is its own self-contained pathway through here. Maybe I could create a plastic train. No, that's actually a line. There's no good option for plastic. None at all. I kind of was thinking, well, maybe I could put one out here, but we need the water. And where would it join up? And if it comes off this line, it's got to cross other lines, which is always a bit messy. I don't really want it getting anywhere near this interchange, because that still needs some work. And it can't really come over here because this line, well, it's not really a good option for it, is it? So what are we going to do with plastic? I could possibly do a bunch of landfill here to give it a passage. I mean, we only need a little thin waterway for this stuff, and then this could be a sort of exit path for a plastic train to rejoin in here, come in here, and then it would have to come along up here, up here. I mean, that sort of thing might work, so that could be what we are going to do. How's this going? Is this linked up yet? It's missing electricity. As soon as it gets electricity, things will be a lot happier. Our construction bots appear to have stopped working for some reason. because we don't have power. Well, that's easily remedied, in fact, because we can place that power there. Now these guys will charge up, and with a bit of luck, very quickly the construction bots will get back to work, because their accessible range will be quite significantly increased by that. There we go, down to 0 and back into action. Now, as soon as this has power, it should encourage the building of all this section. So I mean, really we need to work out what all these bits need to be. Volume wise, I think it's pretty much all exactly the same. Red circuits 2, 2 and 2, yeah, so it doesn't really matter at all. Maybe we just do it in the order there, so the top one can be the sort of electronic circuit drop. Maybe I needed stations. Where's you guys? There they are. There we go. Good. Come on, guys. Stop nicking stuff off me. Let's put them away. I just really wanted them to build the stations because that sort of makes things easier. So we can probably do it from down here. So you need to be red EC drop off. You need to be something a lot shorter than that for sure. Red copper drop off, and you can be red plastic drop off, not dock shoe. Red plastic drop off. Go to map mode, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and over at this end, there you got coloured green. We can't have that. You need to be coloured red. You can be red circuit pickup, copy, paste. There, much better. Of course, I think the colour scheme on all of them is, I know this is actually slightly brighter red, which you can tell, obviously, can't you? Guys, I think I am going to pause it here because I need to get a bite to eat and so on, but we will come back to this. We will get reds up and running, and that might be enough to see us through, so see you shortly. And welcome back. So I just have been taking stock for a moment. I think this must have happened when we were running around just before I paused the game, so you guys probably saw it click up to 250 if you're watching over there. Not as exciting as actually watching the rocket take off, but yeah, doesn't really matter too much. So it looks like we've got a life support in there, which would be number 24. That's good, and we're just waiting on something else. Whole components finished, so that starts saving us from, wow, it's only 1600 steel, so it's not really that much. Certainly help with low density structures though, I guess. Life support is going to stop soon as well. That's 16,000 steel, so there's a little bit more involved in those. Actually, no, there's not. There's 41,000 because of what's used in the low density structures. So I guess whole components use more than those, but it's all fine. As more components come off, of course, there's more resources for other things. And I'm assuming we still have the same shortages, so steel, and circuitry down in the negatives. Okay. What does this mean? It means that we need to move on to the next phase, let the robots finish all of this, which I am sure they are more than capable of doing. Alright. So, robots, why are you Are you sleeping or are you working? Looks like you're sleeping. 2:20. And I've gone to sleep. It doesn't look like there's any power reaching down here, probably because we've had to widen this. So I guess what we need to do is something like that. That will charge these up, and it should get the robots to resume building the red circuit area. We're not ready to use the red circuit area, that's kind of what I'm getting to. So I think what my plan is for plastics, because plastics is the only hard one, everything else we can direct trains over here, or whatever else we want to do. I think I will run with like a plastic train load here and a landfill up here to connect in here. Do I make this 2 lanes or 1 lane? That is pretty much my only question. Not sure. How much plastic do we actually get on a train? That'd be a good first question. Is it 32,000, 4,000 per carriage? Yeah, I think it is. So we would probably need 3, maybe 4 plastic trains. How is plastic doing in the space? 192,000. It kind of has dropped off a bit with the increase in demand via low density structures, as well as constantly making red circuits at maximum capacity, but it should be able to cope. How's our coal? 214,000. I mean, you can see the thousands of, it's taking seconds for each thousand, just, you know, not long at all. Of course, we are immediately going to fill another plastic train here, so the thing is, though, is every single plastic, like over here, is not even working yet. So there's more capability to run this than the oil is kind of suggesting. This is my oil network. Crude oil, we have some petroleum, we have some heavy, and we have absolutely no light, because while we're making fuel cells, the light is getting absolutely caned. And sulfuric acid is also a little bit on the low side, it would seem, but that's okay. We see how our 17,000, I mean, it's not like we're short on this stuff at all. 23,000 of the solid fuel. They're just running continuously though, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if we were being stressed, we could always go into some coal liquefaction, or however exactly you pronounce that. Crude oil barrels is dropping. But see, the thing is, we always have some oil up here. and we're not running all of these things continuously. I mean, I did actually think I might need to do these also as refineries, but it looks like I've overcated so far. Anyway, enough of oil. So what's the strategy? We are going to move the engineering train down to here somewhere. Maybe even just over here. Grab the landfill train, move it into here, to an area that isn't really used, or shouldn't be. And then I am going to start doing my landfill path down here. Fill in all this stuff and then a pathway down here. So that's the go, and let's just get on that train and get going. I think we'll assume that we're likely to need a double pathway. It's the only sensible thing, really. I don't think there's anything in this game that we've ever really needed or been able to get away with half measures, and I don't think that's about to start. So yeah, let's just park the landfill. Actually, I probably should park it up there, but here should be fine. So that's the engineering train, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's pointing in the wrong direction if I want to get it refilled, which actually, come to think of it, I probably do, but never. Actually, yes, do mind. No. Too much mucking around. Okay, Mr. Landfill, you're full. Where can we direct you? If we take you and send you to the oil stacker, that should get us in the area where we want to be. Oil stacker. Let's go. So yeah, the landfill, before it obviously pulls up into the oil, I mean the oil stacker would be one place we could probably wait, but I think I'll just sit on the track, it'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong, right? I'm not entirely sure how long I did before I paused, but we won't run for too much longer before we will put a break in this as well. That's going. Oh, stop! Oh, just in time. Okay, so yes, I believe the oil trains do go through here and down here, but they normally would just go out that way. So coming up here on the landfill train should be fine. We're probably going to miss the life support hitting 25 too, by the way, just so you know. Don't get upset with me. Whoops, I only need 2 of those, really, realistically. No, we don't really need that. Okay. Watch for trains, none coming. Let's run over here. Now, the fact that I've got better control over my sound at long last means that if this gets too deafening, I will certainly be able to deal with it so that you won't have to, like you may have had to in some of my earlier, well, you know, like most of my episodes, and that is kind of loud, isn't it? In fact, we should just go to, I'll put you down for the moment, options, sounds, game effects, volume, that's probably the one, is it? Back, resume. Not sure if that was it or if it's something else. Let's, for starters, square off this area. square off this area and then work out exactly what we're going to do. So if we are coming through, we haven't really used much at all so far. If we are coming through from this sort of height, I was so busy watching the landfill. I knew the train was there, and it just kind of didn't dawn on me at all. Okay, we get to test out our new system. And look at that, we're slightly off, but here we go. So in here, we get rid of that nonsense because we certainly don't need that. We go over here, we grab that, open it up. Oops, we need 2 of those. We need 4, 5. Whoops, we don't need all of that. 6 of those. We need 1 night vision, and we need that to save us time. And I forgot to put the locomotive in there, didn't I? We can add that in. 1 locomotive and some rocket fuel, which may or may not be in this area. If the locomotive turns up. Huh. Oh no, no, don't give me stuff like that. The locomotive's turned up, but nothing else. Okay, I might steal some wood. We need you guys, we need you guys, we need you. Now let's go to the oil stacker. And no, I didn't actually do that deliberately so that you guys could get to see my new thing in... Oh god, it's taken away my wood. Alright, leave that there, just run down here. I think I have at least solid fuel somewhere in here. I don't know if we have rocket fuel, we probably should, but if not, there should at least be solid fuel. Or if not, there should at least be some wood. Right, we have wood. And you can be fueled with the wood. Jump on board, take me to the oil stacker, thanks. Circuit condition, let's go. Just for a bit of safety. While we do this, let's have a quick look at not that, but our all-time production. Iron plates is getting very close to 1 billion outright. You add these two together, you're over 1.5 billion. About 1.54 billion, isn't it? Quite a lot. I still feel pretty likely that we'll hit 2 billion. One way or another. I think there's an awful lot of material usage still required for all of this, so yeah, definitely on the cards. Oh, I didn't equip my axe. That was really silly. The whole point of having a steel axe. Oh, I didn't bother with it. Oh well, silly me. Yeah, I went to the effort of ensuring that there were steel axes so that I could pick this guy up quickly, and I I left them all in the box. Never mind. So dying like that is 2 sets of armor with complete loadouts. All my blueprints. That's why you need to be able to get back to it quickly. And you got to admit, what we did there was a lot handier and more convenient than what we have previously had to do. Okay, this guy has all that stuff. No, 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 no. Let's swap you guys over. You can go in there. And do I have some room in here? Yes. Okay, so let's do this whole exercise again. So we need to basically be able to come out and with no robots on, that probably won't work, and I don't have them on me anyway, so it doubly won't work. So this is roughly where we need the landfill. Assuming we do a straight line, and I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. I'm not even using that coal there anymore. Okay. I'll probably smooth this at some point. But it's something like that. And then that gives us plenty of room, far more than we actually need for all of our water extraction. And then somewhere coming in around about here, maybe just above, will be where we have our plastics. I think I mean water, most people way underdo their water when it comes to how much they need for oil. I may have actually gone the other way, just to be sure. I've never had a water shortage, and I think if most people actually checked how much water they're using, they would find they do have. We're going to have to pause here. And back. Sorry about that, but you know, these things have to get done. Probably don't need all the space actually, I might need a bit more up there, so just flatten this out a little bit just for the hell of it. That's quite good, we'll probably need the rest of that. So, 2 lane, I guess. Do we need, what do we need? I don't know. Could just copy that. How much plastic do we actually have in storage here? 159k. We might actually be going through plastic. Oh no, it's about balanced, which I guess makes sense. Because the way I'm doing everything with passive providers, that would definitely make sense. Let's quickly grab a blueprint and go to the map mode. Actually, we could grab these guys. No, I don't want them, but I do want that, and I do want to get to about there. So that's not in the way of anything. We laid that in there. Then we would need our corner track. Which means we need a little bit more landfill. Oops, need to get out of map mode. A little bit more landfill just up here. We will need a little bit of landfill in this part of the corner. Oh, we're out. Hopefully that's all we will need then. And then we will need straight rail going up. And it's fitting perfectly, which is ideal. Sorry, my mind's kind of on my phone call. I was basically getting rid of an agent that was not working particularly well for me, so yeah. You get that. And we're probably getting close to end of time anyway. I might see if I can... Oh, we have gone too far. We need to get that corner piece again. And we will need a little bit more landfill because I managed to use all the landfill up. So my idea is to link this up. In fact, I will run it from over here because that will probably be safer. Try and build all of it maybe without the supply train, although I could get the supply train because I think the supply stop still exists, so we certainly could do that. Let's pick up these guys. And a little bit more landfill. But the general idea of setting up the plastic train, it's all laid out now. I will go ahead and do as much of that as we reasonably can. And probably next time it will all be done because, I mean, you've seen everything that's interesting here has already been seen, I would suggest. So the next step is really to move on to and get the steel happening, and of course the red circuit trains actually all up and running, which I guess we will try and do in the next episode. I just want to do another quick check of how our supplies are running in the main base. Iron and copper are fine, of course. Steel is the one that we are never entirely sure of, and it looks like we're completely out of steel again. So yes, it is timely that we do get our steel up and running. So lots of good things to happen in the next episode. See you then, folks. Thanks for joining me. Bye bye.